Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton here in the CEP's Equine Studios with Dancin Pete Rodda from Complimentary Horsemanship.
Yay!
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Good. Did you have a lot to be grateful for?
I had a lot to be grateful for.
An attitude of gratitude is very important.
Wow. I feel like we're on a Hallmark commercial or something.
I asked him if he had a turkey belly.
Yeah, thanks.
Because he was tucking in.
And I told her, I said, no, I don't have turkey belly. This is before turkey.
And then he said he actually has a lot of self-control at Thanksgiving and just has one little bite of everything. And I said, that's how it was at celebration as well.
Yeah, but mine's by choice. 20 years ago, I was real full at Thanksgiving. I was like almost sick. I'm like, why do I do this to myself? And then I said, from now on, I am only going to take a little bit, and then I'm going to wait a couple hours, take a little bit more if I want it. And it's been great since.
You're probably thinking it's weird. Did you mess up and lose a day or gain a day in the holiday because it's normally Tuesday? Well, we moved the show this week for a very special guest and a very special reason. We had a chance to chat to Andy Seiler this week in the show with us, and we thought, gosh, it was worth moving it one night so that we could have that gentleman in the studio before he leaves on a very important trip to be at the National Finals Rodeo and be the announcer, and that's big. And this is a gentleman who I've known for quite a long time through Seminole Feed Stores, who we love, and just knowing him as an announcer and seeing kind of his career progress, and this is a huge honor. And he's an Ocala raised and born family man here, and we're just excited. So
I got to come in and revisit lots of people we both know, and what people don't realize is him being from the Southeastern Circuit to make it to the NFR as a rodeo announcer. Very few people get there from this side of the states.
It's really huge, and it speaks volumes to how he engages the crowd. And even before the show, I was talking to him just about his voice, and I told him a long time ago, you have a voice for radio. It's really important that you have a really, really good voice when you're on the radio.
Does he have a face for radio too?
Not at all. His wife will attest to the fact he's a very handsome man.
Okay.
But he's got an absolutely wonderful attitude, engaging the crowd, and he loves the rodeo, which absolutely comes through when he's announcing. So we're going to chat to him.
Maybe we get to play back and forth. I can be the barrel clown.
You are the barrel clown.
Darn.
You are the barrel clown.
Okay.
Enough of that.
So you're the rodeo announcer.
No, I'm the rodeo queen.
Oh, watch out. We're getting a little fun today.
So when we were at Peterson Smith, Isaac and I, recording some interviews with Dr. Kayot, a very good friend of ours, Mary Ellen Phil, actually were there with their horse with an eye problem, and Dr. Brooks, who is literally the expert on horse eyes, was doing an exam and testing the horse for some different things, and we had just a few minutes that we could spend with them, so we actually have Dr. Brooks on with Mary Ellen Phil's horse, which is really cool, in the next segment. So you'll enjoy that, and you can learn a little bit about horses' eyes, and Dr. Brooks is the most knowledgeable on all of that of anyone I've ever met in the equine world. as far as veterinarians go. So it's not Dr. Chaot this week, it's Dr. Brooks.
We miss you, Dr. Chaot. We'll see you
Imagine
next
that,
time.
right? Yes. Then, of course, we'll have Andy on with us. We have Dr. Esther and Neil. We have some Dr. Rullan at Equine Performance Center later on in the show. Then, of course, will be Horsemanship Tip of the Week, Ocala Dog Ranch Tip of the Week, and some reminders about some events that are coming up that we're going to remind you about right now that are very important to us. And the first one I want to mention is Ocala Dog Ranch and Open Hands Animal Rescue.
Do you have to do that when you say it?
Open Hands. I love the connection. They're having a mega adoption event, and I'm sure you've heard lately in local news about, crowding in the shelters.
It's getting expensive to feed them.
Yes, and a lot of people say, well, you're the horse talk show, not the dog talk show. Well, look, we're going to the dogs. Because if you love horses...
Wait a minute. I'm a Georgia fan. Be careful. We could get a lot of people mad at us here.
If you love horses, you probably have dogs. Most people do. And December 2nd is a very special day. Neil Hennessey at Ocala Dog Ranch, who is one of the most wonderful men, has agreed to host this so that numerous rescues can be there with dogs that really need forever homes. So we hope that you'll get down to Ocala Dog Ranch on December 2nd.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yep, and the Humane Society is going to be there, as well as Open Hands Animal Rescue, Wanda Cares Rescue, several other rescues that are going to be there.
Do we need to say the address?
Yes.
440 Southwest 110th Avenue, Ocala, Florida, 34481.
Yes, and if you're familiar with the Live Oak International event, the big event that happens every year, this property is pretty much across the road from that facility where you're used to going to see that Live Oak International event, so it's not very far away. And then for some fun, we're going to have some dog dock diving.
Wow, she's got to say it slow.
And I am going to take my plump Lucy, and we're going to put Lucy in a life jacket and push Pete in. And let Lucy jump in and give the dock diving a try, and it should be a lot of fun.
She's going to look like she's doing a cannonball, I bet.
I know, and actually if she didn't have the life jacket on, she'd sink. I'm just saying. She's a little chubbier than when I rescued her from the vocal.
I always thought that meant they floated when you have a little more...
Oh, maybe. Maybe she's fluffy enough to float.
There you go.
Either way, it's going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be a wonderful event. I'm going to take Lucy down there with me and try really hard not to adopt another dog myself.
Try?
Try not to. They're going to try and keep me out of that area so I don't go home with them all. But if you've got a really big heart for dogs, these are dogs that are absolutely wonderful. We've shared some of their lovely faces with you over the last couple of weeks, and we'll share those with you again later. But definitely come down and at least have a look at some of them and watch the dock diving, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And on the same day, you have to get showered and cleaned up so that you can get back to bootleggers, jackpots, and jazz.
Ooh, December 2nd.
Yep, same day.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
to 9 p.m.
This is the Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding Center's annual event to fundraise. And if you've been around horses when they're around anybody with any kind of disability, it's a blessing to see the effect that horses have on people who are doing therapeutic riding. So we definitely like to support it. There are some tickets left, I think a few tickets left.
It's $100, or is the suggested donation. That means if you want to donate more to come to this, they're not going to tell you no.
Yeah, and it's a speakeasy, so you're going to get a little password with your ticket.
1920s.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think you'll have a good time. You can dress up in your 1920s attire.
And they're
it's
going to
be at the
dancing.
Mary Sue. That's right, dancing with Pete. You can dance with Pete. You should rent yourself out as a fundraiser, Pete.
There you go.
And it is going to be at the Mary Sue Rich Center this time instead of, usually they have it under the barn. So it's actually going to be indoors, and it should be great fun. So that's December 2nd. You've got time to, adopt a dog, go home, get it settled in and comfortable, change into your 1920s deal, and head right back out again.
Start doing the Charleston.
That's right, yes. So it's going to be, that's a lot of fun. So it's a very busy next Saturday for everybody.
Well, we know what that sound means.
Yes, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and that you have lots to be grateful for.
And getting ready for Christmas. This is when the lights should come out.
Yes, that's right. And Dr. Brooks is next. We'll be back. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference. Horsemen, are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip, built by horsemen for horsemen, is ready to revolutionize your world. The answer is in the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock your horse's health information. From driving to Grand Prix jumping, all horses, all breeds, and all disciplines. The future is in the integrity and transparency of all horse sports and in the safety of our horses. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. Talk show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancin Pete Rodda, and we are going to be hearing a little bit from Dr. Dennis Brooks. I met Dr. Brooks several years ago and interviewed him and was so impressed with his bedside manner, with his just how very thorough he is. But what I was really impressed in this particular visit was the fact that he was not pushing Muriel and Phil at all to do anything with the horse. He was actually very happy with the fact that he didn't think there was anything more serious going on.
So is he a specialist with eyes?
Yes.
Or is he board certified specialist?
He's ophthalmologist.
Yes,
that word.
That word,
yes.
From England, it's a hard word.
Yes, that's a hard word for me. That horse's eyes are, I mean, the reason they're designed that, they have a very good reason to be designed that way, but they sure do like to bulge out and get into things.
Right.
and that was not a scientific explanation at all by any means, but I'm just going to say, especially.
My experience with eyes is all the vets I've ever heard is get them in quick, because there's not much blood flow in those eyes, so you got to get whatever's done quickly.
Yes, and Muriel and Phil were in the clinic at Peterson Smith that day with their beloved horse, who is quite lovely, quite sweet, and they were very concerned, and Dr. Brooks and the team there were just so thorough, checking everything, and the outcome was great. But just to learn a little bit of background on the eyes and kind of how the horse eye works and the things that he was looking for and had initial concerns about, but actually felt that there wasn't going to be a further, increase in the problem, quite the opposite with the age of the horse and the fact that he wasn't competing or anything, was not it really pushing them to do anything except monitor it very closely, and obviously, contact the vet if anything got worse. But it was a very good outcome. But it was interesting, and we got to see the horse's eye being examined as well. So it was kind of a neat experience. So we hope you enjoy this. I think it's very informative, and I think Dr. Brooks' manner is phenomenal. And he jumped right in and didn't mind being interviewed on the spot. He said, "Oh, but I didn't do my hair today."
And you're so shy.
I am. Here he is. Louisa Barton here for the CEP's Equine Initiative and the Horse Talk Show on Equus Television. We're at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We have Muriel here with us and Peter Pan, who was visiting for an eye issue and concern with Dr. Brooks, our eye expert. So, Dr. Brooks, lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Tell us a little bit about what you were looking for in the initial exam with the photographs and the light and everything in the shot.
Yeah, initially, Peter, he had prominence of his third eyelid. Horses have 3 eyelids, and you're only supposed to see 2 of them, and you can see one of them very easily. And so he's a 15-year-old horse, and we were worried about why his third eyelid is prominent. Could it be from an injury? Could it be from inflammation? Could it be from, unfortunately, the word cancer comes up because of his age. And so we wanted to see if he could see out of this eye, which he can. We wanted to see if there was any evidence of being painful, which there was not. And so pain will have the third eyelid be prominent. And cancer can also make it easy to see the third eyelid, and we wanted to make sure that it was not those things, and it was not. Then there's a history of trauma. And everything that we saw, and Peter started after the traumatic incident between other horses, was witnessed by the owners. And so we eventually kept looking, and we saw that there was some evidence of a traumatic injury in which, at least in Peter's case, the fat behind his eye has moved into a little bit into the wrong place. And so that's kind of pushed his third eyelid forward. And we've all decided that leaving it alone is probably going to be in the best interest of the horse and everybody else that's involved. So I was initially quite afraid and nervous and worried. And then I got to do an exam. And when we did the exam, I feel a lot better. I think the owners feel a lot better. Peter probably doesn't care. He just wants to go home because he wants to eat. He's been eating out of the food bucket. So even though he's sedated, so
So you're comfortable with, unless the owners, unless Muriel and Phil saw something worsening, which obviously they would then come back for a further exam, but you're comfortable right now that as long as he's comfortable, there isn't any big concern.
Well, I'm actually really happy because I think this is going to be pretty static. I mean, like initially I was pretty worried because I thought we were going to have the conversation. This horse is very well taken care of, very well loved, and I thought I was going to have the conversation about the horse may have some serious cancer.
Right.
And I mean, the horse before them that I just saw has got cancer, but it's in a position where you can probably remove the tumor. And so for Peter, if Peter had cancer doing this would be probably a life-threatening condition. And no one wants to have that conversation.
No. It's always ever. Good. You can smile when you can say.
Oh, my heart rate, no, seriously, is actually quite low and normal right now. And when I first saw Peter in the hallway, I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that's part of my job, to be happy and give bad news, unfortunately, and I'm much better giving good news. Than,
big relief, right?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
If right before Thanksgiving.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. The holidays, yes, we don't want that, do we? No.
So,
wonderful. So this is a pretty good prognosis right now, and
I think it's a real. I was happy with this so far. If Mother Nature decides to be cruel to us all, then we'll deal with that in the future if this tends to get worse. But I think it's going to be pretty static. It's not going to change.
The position of a horse's eye and their ability to look around behind them is phenomenal, but also makes their eyes very prominent and and possibly at risk of things.
They easily
trauma.
injure themselves.
They do indeed.
And I wish they didn't, but that's just the nature of the animal.
Well, it is indeed.
Wish we could bubble wrap them.
Yes. That's
Oh, I
right.
like that. Yeah, no, I may have to use that if you don't mind. At some point.
Yeah, go home, bubble wrap your horse.
There you go.
Dr. Brooks, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, thank you so much. We appreciate you very much. We're very happy
so much.
about
Have a good
Peter
news.
Pan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Louisa Barton for
always
the Horse
here.
Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. At Crystal Cryo, you can relax and enjoy a non-invasive cryo skin facial. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles and tighten the skin. Improve texture and tone. Stimulate collagen production. Reduce inflammation and acne. And increase blood flow to the skin, resulting in a more youthful, radiant appearance. And it all takes only about 30 minutes. Boost your confidence now and set up a consultation. Find Crystal Cryo at crystalcryo.net or on social media. Experience the ultimate in relaxation and rejuvenation. Pamper and revitalize your body, mind, and spirit at Crystal Cryo.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show with Louisa Barton and Dancin Pete.
Wow! Yes!
That was awesome.
That was great.
I love it. We got Andy Seiler here, so Pete and I can be quiet now.
Yeah, we got the rodeo announcer.
That's right. He can talk more than us, believe me.
Yeah.
And on the fly too, right?
Try to.
Andy
that was
Seiler,
great.
thank you so much for being back with us. It's been a while. I've known you from Seminole, wonderful Seminole Feed for a very long time. Wonderful company that's been in Ocala for over 80 years. And you've been in Ocala, certainly not that long, but you've been in Ocala for a long time. Since you were a child and your family too. So it's kind of that. I think that's really neat. So let's start with your background because I love that.
Well, I hate to use this pun, but we have deep roots here. You know, there's a lot of farming and family ranching heritage here in the state of Florida. My dad's side of the family has been here in Marion County for over 100 years. My mom's side is in Volusia County. They've been there for over 120 years. So outside of being a Spanish conquistador or a Seminole Indian, we've got some Florida roots that we're pretty proud of.
Yeah.
So
That's wonderful. And so you have a very beautiful family, a very beautiful wife and beautiful children. And your wife is a local too.
yes, so she is a UF grad. My father-in-law just retired as an orthopedic surgeon here in Marion County. So we love Florida. We love the growth that we continue to see, and we see it in our kids as well. And they love being here and part of the community. We've grown up going to Blessed Trinity. Our kids are now the second generation going to Blessed Trinity. So our roots run deep, and we don't plan on going anywhere.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What a beautiful family.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very
your
much.
wife's name?
Lauren.
Lauren.
And then
And your
our
kids?
son is Wells. He's 10. And Rory is our daughter. She's 7.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
I love that photo. I think that's just
Yeah,
really
they were very excited. This is the second time I got the National Finals Rodeo, and the first time they really didn't get it because they were both very, very young. But Wells got to travel with me quite a bit this summer. We split up, so it was me. It was a boys' trip. Wells and I went to South Dakota and Colorado together, and he was actually with me when they called to say that you got the NFR. So it was a pretty powerful father-son moment, for him to be there whenever I got that phone call.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was exciting.
That's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about just tell us a little bit of basics about being a rodeo announcer before
How
we
did
kind of
you
get
get
to the
started?
exciting. Yeah, because you've been doing this for like 15 years, right?
Well, I think necessity is the biggest motivator of all. And
He didn't show up. Can you talk?
No. So when I was going to college, my parents did a great job planning for everything, but they always encouraged us to make your own way. And so when I got to college, I went to Troy University. And in my sophomore year, I wanted a way to help pay the bills. And I had dabbled in some small announcing, junior rodeos and things of that nature. But my rodeo coach introduced me to somebody, and it was Lone Star Rodeo Company out of Kentucky. And so I got to do a couple of small events with them, and that led to me meeting another individual at the College National Finals Rodeo who told me how to get my PRCA card. And so I acquired that in 2008. So we were at the College National Finals. I had my card, and the guy's name is Boyd Paul Hamus, and he's done the NFR over 20 times. He's been announcer of the year. Anyways, he goes, I've recommended you, and I helped you get 3 jobs that you haven't worked yet, but I need to hear you announce. So we're at the College National Finals, and they just stick a microphone to my face. And so that was on Thursday night. Well, we end up doing 3 nights of the College National Finals Rodeo together in 2008, and the rest, as they say, is history. So
So you were into rodeo. It wasn't like somebody goes, hey, come check out rodeo, and you have to do a lot of studying. You actually, what events did you do?
So we grew up in junior and high school rodeo before I went to college rodeo, but I was a tie-down roper and a team roper. Being 5'8", 175, never could steer wrestle, and don't really want to, but those were kind of my main events. I was always a roper, and my parents always put us on nice horses that were kid safe, and that's one thing that meant a lot to me, especially looking back, because my kids, they're quasi into horses, but not the way I was. So safety was always the first thing. Get a horse that's age appropriate. I don't know if you guys remember Clyde Rice or not, the thoroughbred trainer.
Yeah.
Clyde always had the rule of 30 when it came to kids. The horse's age and the kid's age need to add up to 30. So if you got a 5-year-old kid, you need a 25-year-old horse.
They should have that for beginners.
So
that.
It was funny, though, because my parents would always put us on a horse that was maybe a little slower, and you're always peeking over the fence at the nicer horse that other kids have, and I didn't get it. But now I look back, and I'm like, that was the perfect horse for me at that age. Maybe I finished in the top 5 instead of first, but my parents put me on that horse knowing my prized possession is going to be safe. And looking back, that's something that I'm very, very thankful that they gave us safe opportunities to be successful.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, yeah.
Especially you've been to enough rodeos and events where the little girls are put on the barrel horses that are not appropriate for a little kid.
No, I mean, they strap a magic seat on them and send them away, and it's just I think it's one of those things where me as a parent now, I don't ever want my passion to push the kid. If they don't have that instilled passion and they don't want to do it themselves, then you get in a scary and dangerous scenario because, honestly, horses are fight or flight animals. They're usually on the flight side. And if the person is scared, the horse gets even more scared. I'm not a horsemanship expert, but they feel it. They feel it, and so that's to me that experience and having a positive experience growing up was one that I'll never forget.
That's great.
That you just hit the nail right on top of the head, because I've seen that where a horse actually changes from the horse that he normally is, completely different behavior all of a sudden because the person is maybe even internalizing that nerves and maybe not even be evident on the outside, but the horse can totally sense that feeling especially when you're riding, even on the ground, but especially when you're riding. I think they feel that and internal.
I think it's the same thing with people too, though. There's certain people that enter a room and the temperature and the intensity level goes up.
Is that how you felt when I came in?
Sometimes I'm like, Dancin Pete.
Who's Dancin Pete?
No, not him.
But no, and the other part is there's other people that when they enter the room, you're like, okay, thank God that individual's here. Everything's going to be okay.
You're so right. I was thinking about this the other day, the different types of people that can actually change the entire energy in a room just by entering it. Everything suddenly changes.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who enter a room and everything goes,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you get this call for the NFR, people don't realize I have a buddy that actually I just found out you are announcing with, which is really cool, from Georgia. So when you get that call, what does it mean to go to the NFR, especially from the Southeast?
So it is the Super Bowl of the sport of rodeo. Right now there's either 7 or 8 guys that are alive that have done the National Finals Rodeo. And just a few years back, there were actually more living presidents than men who had announced the National Finals Rodeo. Wow. So, and I'm the only guy from Florida that's ever done it. So Roger Mooney is who you're talking about, and
go Roger.
Roger actually called me after we got that phone call, and he goes, I'm going to try to do my best Roger impersonation, but
here we go.
You got to quit doing this because I'm supposed to be the Southeastern guy at the NFR.
I know Roger, and that was really good.
We are great friends, so it was a joke, but I can't wait to work
so hard
with him.
We didn't hear the whinny, so
whoops.
I've heard him announce, and that was spot on, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna snort. No, I'm not. I'm good. We'll be back on the second half of the show. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty,
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. Lip Chip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Better stories
Back
going
on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancin Pete Rodda, and we have been chatting to Andy Seiler. As I mentioned earlier, I've known Andy from Seminole Feed Stores for many years. I told him back when I first met him, you have a voice for radio. Because he has such a great voice. It's like you could listen to him talk all day long. And
he's now the first person to get you speechless.
I know, right? That's not easy.
And forget our sponsors as we started the show. Or the segment.
Well, it was just great. I mean, really on the spot. And you know, Pete mentioned something in the break. We have these really interesting chats in the break. I wish I was going to say I wish you could hear him, but actually, I think Isaac's going to make sure you can one of these days, so you'll be good. But you know, the thing you've got to do when something can happen, and you're in the hot seat, you got to fill that gap, because things do happen when live events are going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's live entertainment. For instance, last year, somebody cut the power to the Thomas and Mack, and traditionally, as we were talking about, the rodeo clown doesn't have a microphone at the National Finals Rodeo. Well, they literally scrambled, got him a tiny speaker just so everyone could hear him, and they started doing sing-alongs in the dark because the power went out. So with live entertainment, you have to be ready for anything and everything, and the stretching could be 15 to 30 seconds, or in that case, when the power went out, it was 10 minutes until they got everything back running. So if you want to talk about feeling all alone on an island, be in a dark arena by yourself with a microphone thrown at you, and John Harrison did a great job with that. So it's unscripted, it's unpredictable, but I think that's also what makes it honest and genuine. You know, I mean, there's so many different times where you think sports could or might be scripted, but in rodeo you can't do that. There's way too many live elements. You don't know what an animal's thinking. So there's nothing about it that's predictable.
Yeah, I've seen many horses that got stuck in the chutes and they can't get them open. Not that they're in trouble, they just won't do anything when the gate goes open, and the rodeo announcer and the barrel clown need to be on spot to go, okay, we need to fill some time.
No, for sure.
Or when they switch them, I'm sure that's your favorite, when they go to another gate.
No, it is.
And then you're like, okay, number two, who was that?
Let me run from place to place. And so that the photos you're seeing, those are in Estes Park, Colorado at the Rooftop Rodeo. I prefer to announce a rodeo horseback if I can. Now, where the National Finals Rodeo is at, it's way too tight, and the timing of the rodeo is so quick that it doesn't make sense for me to be horseback. But you can see, you know, I'll use my homework. That's what obviously we do before the rodeo starts. It usually takes me 3 to 4 hours to prepare for one performance. And then I'll take that same information and just look over it time and time again, because it's not just sponsor reads like you guys do for your show. You're looking at hometowns, lifetime earnings, you know, somebody that may have just had a baby a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
detail.
yeah, because we all think about cowboys as this icon, and they are, but they're also humans. I mean, they have lives and they have other things that they do when they're not competing in the arena. So it's my job at the end of the day to make everyone feel like a cowboy for 2 hours. That's my goal when I'm announcing a rodeo.
Awesome.
That's incredible, isn't it? I know. I feel like I should have worn a cowboy hat this year. Sitting here in the middle going, I think I should have worn a cowboy hat.
How important is having a good barrel clown?
To me, for events like these during the summertime, it's very, very important because it's like your talk show. If you have a good rapport, people feel that.
I'm the clown.
Because I honestly think that if somebody can be very affable outside of the arena and they can tell jokes that everyone's laughing about, then you can do that in the arena. But if you're a staunch, kind of stoic, boring person outside of the arena, it would be very, very difficult to be a rodeo clown. So being able to tie those things together and take somebody right to the line but not cross the line is very, very important.
Because it's a family show.
Exactly. But there's things you can say that mom and dad get, and the kids may kind of turn their head and question, but that's a conversation you have to have on the way home.
That was funny. What was he talking about, Dad?
That was
I don't know.
British humor my entire
That's
childhood.
exactly right.
Is like puns
That's exactly
and
right.
double meanings.
Yep.
And
It's Monty
Shrek.
It's Monty Python on dirt.
Yes,
I mean,
that's right.
and that's the thing is you want to be able to bring out not just slapstick and dry humor, but intelligent humor as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want people to think a little bit after the show's over. That's something I try to bring to it anyway.
So you ever joke around with the barrel clowns, like you get them unexpected?
Oh, absolutely, and they give it right back. My favorite prank actually happened to me. We were at a small rodeo, and one of my friends, his name is Justin Rumford. Justin was getting all the kids to come out for mutton busting, sheep riding. And he goes, "Hey, I need to borrow your wallet." And I wasn't paying attention. I said, "Okay." So I just handed my wallet. And so he's getting all the kids to come out, and he's getting them lined up. And he goes, "Hey, I just want you guys to know I found a wallet, and here's a Southwest Visa 42," and starts reading my credit card number. Like, okay, all right, you're gonna pay for that.
Wow.
So I mean, it's our way of having some inside baseball and keeping everything fun.
That's great.
So 10 days of National Finals Rodeo, and you get to split this with 3 guys.
Yes.
So 3 guys total.
Yes. So
and
it'll
two
be
of you working at a time.
Yes, 2 at a time. So it's myself, Roger Mooney, and Randy Corley. Randy now lives in North Platte, Nebraska. He's from Wyoming. Roger lives in Ellijay, Georgia, up in the mountains. Woo-hoo! It's a beautiful, beautiful area. But they've both been very, very good friends of mine. But obviously with Roger and I being from the Southeast, it means just a little bit more because of a lot of the same connections and people that we've grown up around. I mean, Roger was and still is the voice of the Southeast, in my opinion. So I've grown up listening to him, and I've looked up to him. So for all this to come together in Vegas, it's really, really awesome to be able to do it with him.
It's a huge honor.
Yes, it is.
Certainly
yes,
one well deserved, and I'm
Thank
very,
you.
very happy for you. We
Thank
love
you.
it that one of our local chaps that we're friends with and so proud of is...
That's like knowing somebody is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, for rodeo people, a rodeo announcer going to the NFR is big time.
It's big time.
It's
well, we have a special little goodie bag from Piranha for you that
thank you very
disappears on
much.
air. And then we also have a little certificate here from Pat Myers Electric. They will come out and have a complete walkthrough of your farm and tell you if you have anything that you should be concerned about or hazards or anything, no obligation and no
Perfect.
cost or anything. So
Thank
maybe
you
when
very
you
much.
get back, if you want to do a
Absolutely.
walkthrough with Pat,
And-
you'll
and,
love him.
I
And
was
he
gonna
might
say-
come dressed as you. I'm just going to tell you because he's done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat showed up as Dancin Pat.
Yeah.
With my whole,
Dancin'
it
Pat.
looked like it was me, and she kept on calling, "Hey Pete, I need your help."
And I was like, that's not, it's Pat. Anyway, he's a hoot. You'll love it.
Yeah,
so
you'll love
you'll
it.
make a new friend and have a good time, I'll tell you.
No,
You'll
I
love-
actually have to run a 200 amp service from the house to the barn, so
Here's your man.
I appreciate it.
Yes, oh yeah,
Thank
he'll
you.
take
You'll
good care
really
of you.
enjoy
Yes.
him, and he's a character.
He
Good.
really is, yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell him you need to go out yourself.
I'm going to tell him to dress like him.
Yeah.
He's good at that. He's good at that. Well, we're really excited for you. we'll of course be following you on social media.
Thank you.
And
I think we need to do a trip. If we'd have known this, we should have done a trip out there. Done a live show out there with you guys.
That would have been fun.
December 7th through the 16th. The rodeo's in the Thomas and Mack Center, but there's, as we were talking about, there's shopping all over the place. There's 4 or 5 different shopping venues. The biggest is in the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Sounds like great fun to me. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
so much, Andy.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
We are so proud of this guy, and this is big stuff. And Andy took the time to come in and chat to us before he takes off on this adventure. So we wish him well, pray for a great outcome and an absolutely wonderful National Finals Rodeo. We'll be back on the Horse Talk Show in just a minute. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancin Pete Rodda from Complimentary Horsemanship. And we have a special guest with us, Dr. Alberto Rullan. I shouldn't say with us, about to be with us, I should say.
You're going to see him and hear him, but we're not going to.
Dr. Rullan is with the Equine Performance Innovative Center, and I think that EPIC, as it's known, is epic because it's the only one pretty much in the world like it, with all of the conditioning and all of the different services that they offer there for you, for your horse. You can stay there when you're on vacation and have a couple of services a day. You can take them in there for some post-surgical conditioning and exercise. They can stay there. They have pretty much everything there you can think of for helping to get your horse back into shape, especially if you're looking for less impact for the horse. And it's really an incredible center to go visit. So
and
check it out.
He's a pretty good guy too.
He's a pretty good guy, yeah. So he's going to share with us now some of the services they offer. So here is Dr. Alberto Rullan. I'm Louisa Barton here at the Equine Performance and Innovative Center for Equus Television, the Horse Talk Show, and the CEP's Equine Initiative. I have the pleasure of having one of our very expert veterinarians here in the Ocala-Marion County area, Dr. Alberto Rullan. Dr. Rullan, lovely to be with you again.
It's a pleasure
It's
being
been
here
too
with you.
long. You're too busy.
I know. It's been way too long.
So this is hard when you have as much information and knowledge as you have to share. But in less than 10 minutes, I want to run through all the services here. Our equine initiative is a very important part of Marion County and very educational. And we like to share what is available here in the Ocala area. So if you can kind of start at the top and briefly give us a little summary of each service that's available. I know there's a lot, so.
Oh, no, absolutely. And thank you so much for giving me at least 0.2 seconds to get prepared for this.
I know, right?
That was pretty good. Plenty of time. So, services that we offer here. First and foremost, what we try to do is minimize the amount of drugs, increase the amount of natural rehabilitation. And that every service that we do is with that purpose. Minimize the amount of drugs, increase the amount of natural rehabilitation to bring their horses back to peak performance abilities as quick as possible with less drugs. So everything that I'm going to talk about, that's going to be our main course, right? Regenerative therapy, we do them all, from stem cells, PRP, ozone, oxygen are some of my favorites for sure. What does this do? Let's talk about the ozone and let's talk about the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. The first thing that does is increases your oxygen level in the blood 600%. In this modality, the blood does not need or depend on the red blood cells to bring oxygen to the wound or to the area that is damaged, because it travels in plasma. Very nice little thing. And it actually does zero harm. It's oxygen, right? So increases the healing capacity of the animal. Great for wounds, non-healing wounds, fresh wounds, burns, lung issues, bleeders, patient with hoof problems, hoof infections, anything that has to do with inflammation or infection.
Gorillas.
Gorilla.
You have had a gorilla.
Exactly. We had a gorilla from Animal Kingdom that came and had a great time with us over here. Did fantastic. Discovery Channel had a blast with us over here. So definitely my favorite. Second, we have modalities such as the cold saltwater spa. This is like going to the beach on a cold day and putting your hurting foot in the sand and let the water just bathe your feet. This is
good to me.
It is just an amazing.
I'm there.
It's just an amazing technology to take infection away, inflammation away, to clean up any kind of cellulitis, any kind of bacteria debris, and a well-being of it all for the tissues that it touches. The saltwater spa could go all the way up to above the knee, comfortably. Yeah, temperature between 44 and 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and we leave them there for about 30 minutes or so. Some horses, even some horses with hyperthermia, we have put there to cool them down quickly. Because you know, if the temperature goes really high in a horse, 107 or so, that could actually kill them.
Right.
So we put those horses in there. Horses that are at high risk of laminitis, we put them there. Horses that have abscesses in multiple legs, we put them in there. Horses that have infections that are difficult to clear up from the outside because there's a lot of bacteria, we put them in there and it helps a lot. So moving on, we have for muscle, we like to use Magna Wave, which is a PEMF, right?
Yes.
And we
love PMF. It's fantastic.
I've used it myself.
Yes.
I'm sure
me
you've
too.
used it.
Big fan.
Excellent. And we do a lot of that combined with vibration plate. There's some research out there on vibration plate and how it can help some muscle and how it also can help prevent bone loss after a horse is being on rest for a long period of time. So let's say we have a horse that is resting from a fracture or from any other disease, cannot move, is in a stall. The vibration plate has proven to decrease that bone loss. And combined with Magna Wave, very good.
Very good.
And we can
Very
get into the big science about it, whether it's increases blood flow, how increases other healing capacities, etc. There is a lot of research coming up on those modalities. Good?
Yes.
Swimming pool.
Yes.
Swimming pool is fantastic exercise to increase cardiopulmonary resistance.
And the good news on that is we're going to have a whole segment on the pool party, so you'll definitely get a lot more details on that.
Not on the rain weather, right?
No.
Not today. Okay, good. So now we're doing a real cool study on the swimming pool, some very innovative stuff, because what we're doing is we're monitoring the blood levels of it's called lactate. We monitor blood levels of lactate to tell us if that horse is actually training hard enough in the pool. And guess what? We have found out that most of the time we stop too soon. So we're actually helping a lot of our clients give that extra edge of exercise to the horses, with backed up by science.
Amazing.
So swimming pool is a fantastic exercise. We try not to put horses with back pain or stifle issues in the swimming pool. So mostly we use it for conditioning, rehabilitation of tendons, some joints, and overall increased cardiopulmonary resistance. Yes?
Amazing.
We have laser. Laser. I think laser by now is pretty well known. Most people are very familiar with the laser. And trivia, laser is an acronym and it stands for something.
I know.
So
you told me that last time I was here.
I will let the audience research what does laser stands for, because I think it's a very interesting thing. We all thought it was just a word, right, to describe a modality. Increases blood flow, increases healing power, has some sort of pain modulation, and great tool that we use for wounds in combination with the other modalities such as hyperbaric chamber and magna wave, etc. So we use it in combination. We use it for muscle pain, muscle inflammation, swellings, cellulitis. There's some new research coming up on laser that we're very happy and excited about. It's for using the eyes, which is very strange because you're not supposed to put laser in the eyes, but there's some new lasers that come with certain different lights, etc., that we're starting to see a use on it. So super interesting.
Yes.
Extremely good to use after PRP or after stem cells to make the tissue heal even better. So a lot of good things happening with the laser. Then we have a shock wave, which is sound wave, right? It's literally that's what it is. It's a sound wave that penetrates in the tissue, increase circulation, increase growth factors, and helps with pain, absolutely, and with healing in general.
Wow.
So that was a big rundown.
That was a big rundown. That is overall wellness for your horse, rehab and conditioning with Dr. Rullan here at the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. What a lot of information. What an amazing service they have right here in the horse capital. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Switching it up to Dancin Pete's Horsemanship Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. No, I didn't. Today's tip of the week is Grandma's cooking.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, ma'am. So I was talking to a student the other day, and I was saying you have to learn how to follow a recipe before you can do Grandma's cooking. Now, are there people that can do Grandma's cooking right away after they've watched Grandma? Yes. But us mere mortals that aren't good at cooking or are getting into it, they have to follow a recipe. So there's a sequence of doing things when you follow a recipe. But then once you get good at that recipe, what starts happening? You start mixing recipes, right? You're like, oh, we should put some
sling things in there.
Yeah, I can put some avocado in there.
Make a mess.
Yeah, that's right. And then
add my own twist.
That's right. And then you start doing Grandma's cooking. So you take a little taste, add a little salt. Stir it around, let it simmer for a little bit, take another little taste, a little sugar. So that's horsemanship when you get further up, or you're just a natural. So there's some people that are like, well, I can't teach somebody how to cook because I just, how much is this? That's what I put in, and then I do it to taste. And it's like, oh, well, thanks. How do you ride a horse? Oh, you just get up there and you do this and it happens. And it's like, yeah, that's for the person that can do Grandma's cooking. But can you tell me how to follow a recipe first? And that's really important. In fact,
don't read instructions. I don't follow recipes. I just wing it.
And the funny thing is, I actually have a trainer that I had taught for many years, Nancy Faulkner. And she couldn't cook. Like, she literally, if she brought something out and you knew her, you weren't touching it because it was either raw or burnt because she couldn't follow a recipe. She's like, 350 degrees? Well, let's put it up to 500 for half the time. That should do it. And then it was either burnt or it was raw. So all of a sudden, she came out with this beautiful casserole, and we were all like, whoa. And I was like, oh, no, it's Nancy's. And she's like, no, try it. And so I took a taste, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. What happened? She goes, well, you slowed me down to where I could follow a recipe. So kudos for Nancy, because now she's a great cook, and she now does Grandma's cooking. She adds things, she tastes it, and so starts with a recipe, though.
Starts with a recipe for most people.
For most people.
And with that, for our other four-leggeds, we have Ocala Dog Ranch. Horse Talk Show's going to the dogs with Neil. The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessey, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. You ever had one of those dogs that just can't catch anything and it's frustrating because you really want to play ball with your dog? We'll teach your dog to catch a ball by first using popcorn. The dog will catch the popcorn. If it hits them in the face, they're not going to get hurt. They're going to have a wonderful time. You'll have fun playing with your dog, and they'll have fun learning how to catch a ball and eating popcorn at the same time. Win-win.
Practice with popcorn. My dog would never, ever miss anything that was related to food. And Neil Hennessey from Ocala Dog Ranch would attest to the fact that Lucy has never missed a meal or a snack of any sort.
Except for she might get disappointed when the tennis ball came out. Like, what's this?
I want something I can eat.
I want something edible.
I will tell you something. We have a new sponsor of the show, Equifence, and they were at my property today. I drove home at lunchtime to take Aslan for his walks and exercise, and the fence wasn't all the way up at the front, so I didn't let Lucy out. And I turned around and I looked at her as she came to the door, and I said, you sit and stay. And she sat straight down on her rear end and stood there. And when I came back with Aslan, she was still sitting in the same spot waiting for me to release her. I was so
Wow.
impressed. I said, wow, Lucy. Now, if I'd have had food, she'd have come after me, but it all worked out. So, a few reminders. Speaking of Ocala Dog Ranch, don't forget that December 2nd, and if you're listening on the radio, it'll be December 2nd. So if you're listening on the radio,
You've got time. It starts
you've
at
still got
11
time
a.m.
to get to the
2
Ocala Dog
p.m.
Ranch, yes. And this is the first mega adoption event. It's a dog's journey to a new home. Animal adoptions, food trucks, dog dock diving,
Dock
vendors,
diving.
etc. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Ocala Dog Ranch. So you can watch dogs doing this very fun dog dock diving. And the very memorable moment of Lucy's first jump is going to happen.
Yes, and then it's at 440 Southwest 110th Avenue, Ocala, Florida 34481.
And we've
Please
got
come out.
Yeah, wonderful organizations, Wanda Cares, the Humane Society, Open Hands Animal Rescue. We've got Sheltering Hands, a number of other organizations that are going to be out there. And Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch has very kindly provided these groups a place to come with these animals that are up for adoption. Help us help them this holiday
And
season.
even if you don't adopt one, come out and donate some money to keep that animal fed and ready for the next owner.
Yep.
And early Christmas present, I mean, December 2nd, it's like an advent calendar.
That's right.
You get a dog. That'd make me happy when I was a kid.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So lots of lovely dogs. We've shared some of their beautiful faces with you over the last couple of weeks. So just get down there if you can. If you've got a friend you know is looking for a dog, this is a fantastic way to give one of these beloved four-leggeds a forever home. Maybe you need a barn buddy for your horse, or you've got a farm and you'd like a dog that has a nice big space to run, or maybe even a small apartment and you need a companion. These dogs are going to be, they will help you match up with the right dog for you, and wonderful
And we'll even
organizations.
have a cat organization if you're looking for a cat.
That will be
They
out
won't be there,
The
but
cats
you
won't.
might be able
Yeah.
to go and see them later in the week.
So let's get these barn buddies homes before the holidays, if we can, before Christmas. That would be fantastic. So if you can help us support in any way, that would be wonderful. These are all wonderful organizations with very well taken care of dogs, and there'll be lots and lots to choose from that day. So get out and visit us, and then don't forget the Stirrups and Strides annual fundraiser is on Saturday evening. You've got time to get home and get cleaned up into your 1920s attire.
Woohoo!
And do
Bootleggers jackpot.
That's right.
Jazz.
That's right. And that is also December 2nd. That, again, if you're listening on the radio this morning, you will be today at 5 o'clock at the Sue Rich Community Center, and tickets are $100, and that's the dinner, the dancing, the silent auction, a fun evening, and a chance to get dressed up in some 1920s attire. So all for a good cause for therapeutic riding. See if you've ever seen disabled children or adults with horses, it's a game changer. So help support this organization, and let's have a good evening. It's a great evening, great way to...
Sounds like fun to me.
Yeah, great way to celebrate
Dancing.
a good time. Well, yeah, if Pete can dance, he's a happy man, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have the holidays coming up, and everybody's getting ready. We just had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm sure everybody's all still full of turkey today, but share with us, if you don't mind, what you're thankful for. Gratitude has definitely been the topic over the last few days. Maybe you're grateful for a wonderful horse or a great co-host.
Oh, I'm thankful for Louisa Barton. Oh, you're not the co-host, you're the host. Okay. I'm thankful for my host that allows me to come out here and be myself and have a good time.
Well, we're thankful for almost 10 years. Coming up December 12th, we will be in our 10-year anniversary for the show, so we're very grateful for that. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around until the same time next week.
See you soon.